A proposed change to U.S. travel screening rules could have far-reaching consequences, not just for visa applicants, but for millions of ordinary travelers around the world. Under a new proposal, travelers entering the United States under the Visa Waiver Program could be required to provide social media information as part of the application process. While the stated goal is enhanced security screening, the potential impact goes much further. In this video, we'll explain what the proposed policy is, how it would work, and why. If implemented, it could cause millions of travelers to rethink or abandon plans to visit the United States. The proposal centers on the Electronic System for Travel Authorization, better known as ESTA, the system used by citizens of visa waiver countries to enter the U.S. for short stays. Currently, ESTA requires basic personal details such as passport information, travel history, employment data, security-related questions. Under the proposed change, applicants would also be asked to list their social media usernames or handles from platforms they use. While the proposal does not explicitly state that applicants must share passwords or private messages, it would introduce a new layer of digital scrutiny into what has traditionally been a relatively straightforward travel authorization process. This change would not apply only to visa applicants. It would affect visa-free travelers, including citizens of countries such as the United Kingdom, most European Union nations, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and many others. In total, the Visa Waiver Program covers dozens of countries and accounts for tens of millions of visitors to the United States every year. These travelers include tourists, business visitors, conference attendees, families visiting relatives, students on short programs. For many of them, ESTA has been a key reason the U.S. remained an easy and attractive destination. Introducing social media disclosure into travel screening changes the experience in several important ways. First, it raises privacy concerns. Many travelers may be uncomfortable sharing online identities, even if they believe they have nothing to hide. Social media accounts often contain years of personal opinions, humor, political views, and casual interactions that were never intended for government review. Second, the policy introduces uncertainty. Travelers may not know how their content would be interpreted or what could trigger additional screening. Whether satire, old posts, or misunderstood comments could delay or deny travel. Third, it adds friction. The Visa Waiver Program is popular precisely because it is simple. Any additional step, especially one involving personal digital history, makes alternative destinations more appealing. When travel becomes more complicated or invasive, people respond predictably. They choose other destinations. The global travel market is highly competitive. Europe, Asia, and parts of Latin America offer visa-free or simplified entry, strong infrastructure, fewer personal data requirements. For travelers deciding between multiple destinations, the U.S. risks becoming the most burdensome option. Even a small percentage drop in visa waiver travelers would translate into millions fewer visitors, affecting airlines, hotels, restaurants, retail, conventions, and tourism-dependent cities. This isn't theoretical. Travel behavior consistently shifts in response to perceived barriers. Tourism is a major contributor to the U.S. economy. International visitors typically spend more per trip than domestic travelers, supporting jobs across hospitality, transportation, entertainment, small businesses. If large numbers of travelers decide the U.S. is no longer worth the hassle, the economic ripple effects would be significant. Cities that rely heavily on international tourism, including New York, Los Angeles, Orlando, San Francisco, and Las Vegas, would likely feel the impact first. The policy could also affect business travel, as companies reassess whether sending staff to U.S. events or meetings is worth the added administrative risk. Supporters of the proposal argue that enhanced screening improves security. However, Expanding data collection does not automatically translate into better outcomes. Reviewing vast amounts of social media content increases processing time, raises the risk of misinterpretation, diverts attention from higher priority security indicators. There is also the challenge of language, cultural context, and sarcasm, which are difficult to assess accurately through automated or limited review. The question becomes whether the security benefit outweighs the cost, not just financially, but in terms of trust, openness, and global perception. Beyond immediate tourism impacts, the proposal sends a broader signal about how the U.S. approaches travel and openness. For decades, the visa waiver program has been a symbol of trust and partnership between the U.S. and allied nations. Adding social media scrutiny may change how that relationship is perceived. It also sets a precedent. If social media review becomes standard for visa-free travel, similar requirements could expand to other categories over time. That possibility alone may cause travelers to pause. The proposed social media requirement for USDA represents more than a policy tweak. It could fundamentally change how millions of people view travel to the United States. While security is important, travel thrives on simplicity, trust, and predictability. If those are eroded, travelers have options, and many may simply choose to go elsewhere. As this proposal moves forward, the balance between security and accessibility will be critical. If this video helped you understand what's being proposed and why it matters, tap like and share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to U.S. Travel and Immigration Update for clear, factual coverage of how U.S. travel and immigration policies are evolving. And I'll see you in the next video.